our next presentation. We have a company called Novo Integrated Sciences. It's ticker NVOS. And we have here Robert Mattacchione. Robert, how's it going?
It's going well. No complaints on my end.
That's the way to be, man. You are the chair and CEO of Novo. Let's hear a little bit about it.
Absolutely. So I'm not sure what you can see on my screen. I can't see the other end.
I see your screen share, and there's two little boxes of you and I. So I think we're good to go, man.
Okay. Well, I'm as you articulated, I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Novo Integrated Sciences. It's publicly traded on NASDAQ, obviously. I'd like to begin first and foremost with the customary slide that we need to from a compliance perspective, the disclaimer and the forward-looking statements. Then I'd like to get right into Novo Integrated Sciences. It's a company that operates through multiple subsidiaries, so we can think of it as somewhat of an incubator. It's an extremely comprehensive healthcare platform touching on a multitude of different areas of healthcare business, and as such, I'm going to speak at a very high level. It's interesting to hear some of the other presenters and the detail that they can get into. Unfortunately, I don't think time allows us the same luxury here. But really, Novo Integrated Sciences is introducing a new philosophy to healthcare, the evolution of healthcare. It's decentralized healthcare. And we believe that there's three primary pillars. And when I say we, the company itself and myself in particular, believe that the three pillars necessary to have this actually come to life and be a part of our everyday world is number one, an exhaustive and expansive network of touch points for patients. Number two, the most important in my opinion, a comprehensive and robust technology interfacing platform. And number three, of course, the product solutions. Again, I want to emphasize the second pillar, which is really what a lot of our focus is as an evolving medtech company. Of course, the question comes up regularly in my world, so to speak, how has healthcare adopted technology? And for the most part, healthcare always leads the technology trend, but unfortunately from the practitioner's perspective. Other sectors have appreciated the importance of obviously the user, the client, and in our case, the patient. And yet, in our healthcare sector, the patient has lagged with respects to the adoption of specific technology for the patient, centric to the patient. And that's where decentralization is going to become key. Having the patient control their healthcare experience is going to not only accelerate the adoption into a decentralized model and move away from the model that exists right now, which is extremely central, but moreover, create a fantastic experience for the patient. In the same way that a client or a customer experiences wonderful things with technology with respects to media, entertainment, transportation, just about every other sector on the planet. Our company really speaks through 6 different categories of business. The graphic here identifies each of them. I'll go into them in some minor detail later on in the slide. But the important thing to understand is it's not fragmented. The 6 individual components, the 6 areas of business, so to speak, are lateral in nature, but create a fantastically vertical integration through the technology interfaces that we engage and bring to market. And that's extremely unique. It's something that we couldn't have done 10 years ago, but with the advent of the technology that we're working on, quite specifically something we refer to as Novo Connect, it allows us to look and feel much, much more substantial than what we really are, and allows us to bring a myriad of healthcare services and products and solutions to a broader population base. The first pillar, as I touched on earlier, is the comprehensive network that's required to create touch points for patients, and in turn patients into consumers. Our model engages 3 structured formats to enhancing that experience and creating that expansive network. The first is most obvious and most traditional, a corporate ownership of the touch points. We refer to them as clinics or operating brick and mortar locations. The second is a franchise model, and the third is the one that we prefer, It's from an investor perspective, it's the most accommodating from a cash use perspective. It's something we call an affiliate model, a model by which other stakeholders, other participants in care, other service providers can join our network and play to our standards, so to speak, understanding that we have a specific process and procedure in place with how we operate from a healthcare perspective, and we want them to adopt those practices. And what that allows is a friendly environment for competitors as well to join our network. And so we really don't have, by technical definition, a true competitor, as we welcome all into our network. We believe that the market requires the expansion of the existing networks and under a very controlled and understood and accredited format. One of the points of our acceleration with respects to growth from a corporate perspective is actually our microclinic format. In the coming months, our partnership with LA Fitness will bring to life our first modular units, no more than 400 square feet, able to fit in just about any location and providing sophistication and technology and giving the individual patients the opportunity to experience a very broad approach to healthcare through technology in very, very small facilities. Extremely cost effective, allows us to enter population centers that we otherwise would not enter. And so we're extremely excited to get this off the ground. It was intended to be in circulation already from a commercial perspective over a year ago. Unfortunately, we've all lived through COVID, and COVID, handcuffed us in many of our objectives in the last year. But now, as we are all coming back to life and out of COVID, things are accelerating on this front. The 7 pharmacies that we just recently announced with respects to our intended acquisition is something that we're extremely, extremely, extremely excited about. It represents an increase in revenue, consolidated revenue of roughly $55 million. But moreover, it allows us an opportunity to touch several million more potential patients and of course, patrons. We're going to turn those patients into consumers. The pharmacy sector is one that's engaged in an incredible transformation and looking desperately for solutions. And I think we really represent the future for pharmacy in terms of some of our technologies being applied at the pharmacy level, engaging the patient into that consumer profile, creating a wellness profile in effect, allowing the patient access to our tools, both mobile, product, and otherwise, and giving a new life to the pharmacy model that is becoming quickly archaic. Our presence in Florida, Virginia, and Arizona is exciting to us. It's our first endeavor outside of Canada, considering all of our revenue presently is generated through the Canadian marketplace. So it represents an incredible opportunity to really come to life in a big way in a new jurisdiction. Number 2, the second pillar, one that, again, the company emphasizes the importance of, is that technology. Something that we refer to as Novo Connect, but it's the first of its kind that I'm aware of, and I'll qualify that by saying that I'm aware of, but I tell you, I haven't seen a patient-centric interface in healthcare ever, and this is the first of that tool where now the patient, us as patients, have control of our healthcare quite directly through an expansive network of healthcare providers and service providers, product providers. It's an everyday tool utilized in our entire wellness objective. An exciting product that we've been developing for the better part of 4 or 5 years. It's data sensitive. It allows different add-ons and other technologies to bolt within it. But again, the key is its ability and its inherent design of a patient-centric tool, something that really we've never seen in the industry. And right now we've actually started our commercial testing of it literally this week, and we're looking forward to full commercial rollout on the phase 1 technology over the next 30 to 60 to 90 days and into 2022 with significant more improvements, including blockchain, because of course what's important is protection of the data that's there, our own data, our own personal records. And a funny little side story very, very quickly, we had here in Canada our first breach of the passports, the vaccine passports. developed by government. So we know how important it is to have this done right, and we're doing it right. So we're excited to introduce AI into this feature, which will even further create an unbelievable and efficient tool that will be impossible not to adopt and not to have institutions, governments, and everyone abroad realize that this is the way of the future. As I mentioned, the bolt-ons, telemedicine is one, and we're proud of our telemedicine technology, something we refer to as My Telemed Plus. It's an incredible tool. As we know through COVID, telemedicine has been extremely aggressively adopted by both the medical community as well as the patient community. And My Telemed Plus is the next evolution. It deals with peripherals. It creates an incredible opportunity of sophistication of the data that's being received, a very comprehensive opportunity for a practitioner to view what's going on by way of these peripherals, so that a comprehensive diagnosis and subsequent can be put forward to the patient. Right now, we live in a very single-dimensional telemedicine world, and we're suggesting that that's great for what it is today, but tomorrow requires what we're bringing to the table. The other unique feature of this phenomenal tool is that it's mobile, and we can engage a bit of a translatory component to it by way of different healthcare providers, lower level healthcare providers, possibly even PSWs, administering in the home and creating this essential and virtual visit that is, in effect, as real or as comprehensive as a physical visit. So we're ready to launch that, and we're going commercial on it literally as we speak as well. Of course, that brings us to the other component, and it's a fantastic relationship that we have with a company called CloudDX. It's an exclusive licensing arrangement for remote patient monitoring devices and tools. And that's great for what we use it conventionally today in terms of treatment monitoring, staying connected to the patient through an entire treatment overview and seeing how they're responding. But we're going to take it one level further. And we're looking at RPM and those devices as something that allows us a pre-active understanding of our community, our wellness community, in that these devices and all these tools that are associated with the remote patient monitoring feature are such that they could be on you even when you're perfectly fine. And they can start to give us indicators of problems that are in your future, allowing us to, number one, create efficiencies to care so that we can be proactive and avoid those catastrophic, circumstances that are extremely expensive. And so this is an incredible development opportunity for us, and we're subjecting a great deal of effort and energy with CloudDX and bringing this to life as well. Our third pillar really speaks to the last couple months of acquisitions and the desire and the necessity, rather, for incredibly high-level products. It's important what we ingest. It's important what we use as superficial tools to making sure that our wellness and our health is addressed. And so we've, in the last 2 months, gone through 2 acquisitions, the first of which is a company called Prodip that we're really proud of. It's a unique delivery system that right now has a very strong foothold in the energy market, as you can see by the graphic. We believe that its untapped potential is really in the medical field. It will solve the problem of medicinal delivery into problematic age groups, children and the elderly, that right now have a challenge that in general it's potentially problematic to have these different categories of people actually ingest medicine in the way that we do it nowadays. And so this solves that problem. It solves it quite directly. It's proprietary. We're on the verge of signing an enormous and really a distribution agreement that I'm extremely proud of, that will give us a national presence in the U.S. and allow for the unparalleled success of this product to become mainstream, because it has potential application to not just medicine, but nutrient delivery rather. Its application is unlimited. And of course, the Senza. Senza is our manufacturing. It's state-of-the-art, GMP, pharma grade type of operation. And that's important to us because we want to develop products. We want to develop around the science of products. Those products are important to us, as I suggested earlier. And this organization does exactly that. It's a science-heavy organization. Presently, it's manufacturing all types of nutritional valued products, customized therapeutics, these types of products, and products that fit right within our network, our existing network of patients that we presently service. It will also obviously give us a great advantage with respects to the expanding network and the patient touch points that we will be dealing with in our future acquisitions and our growth. So we're excited about what this acquisition and this company represents for us. In addition, we inherited through the acquisition spectacular patented oncology platform. We've heard a lot of discussions around cancer and with some of the other presentations, and whenever we can find a solution, we're excited to be a part of it. And this is one. This is one for those unfortunate people that do have it. And where does it progress? And so we're going to be developing the commercialization of this product over the next several months and bringing it to market based on the fact that we've spent several years, or they spent several years prior to us acquiring them, developing the real science behind it.
Robert, I wanna pop in here. I'm very intrigued with all of what you're saying, but I do want to have enough time to do a few questions. Absolutely. And we're up against clock here. So if you want to give like a quick summary, if there's a couple slides that you wanted to absolutely hit, go for that now, and then we'll go for a couple questions if you're cool with that.
Absolutely. I want to get to the management, because that's super important in the structure of the company from the finance side. I can tell you that the operating team, as the slide indicated, at the senior level, it's comprised of Chris, David, myself, and Dr. Sina, who is the developer of that technology that I'm referring to. But moreover, there's an entire team that is the executive operating side of the subsidiaries. Are doing a fantastic job, an extremely sophisticated group of people. And of course, the board that I'm extremely proud of. I won't get into each one of them. And our jewel, really our jewel, is our medical advisory board. Three spectacular individuals in their own right, people that are extremely reputable within their own professions. And I've been often asked, why does a company like yours require a medical board? We don't require it, but based on the fact that we're reinventing the space, we want to navigate through the medical community with integrity. And these gentlemen help us do that, help us stay compliant, help us stay on board with respect to the products and everything else that we bring to light. Our financial position, we're extremely well positioned now, extremely tightly held. I myself own roughly 49% of the entire company, so we're motivated to succeed long term, and I think we're extremely undervalued right now. Our M&A strategy is extremely aggressive. In the next 6 months, will bring us into multiple jurisdictions outside of Canada and the US. And that's it.
Awesome. Thank you for speeding it up just a tad there, because I do have a couple interesting questions, and I want to just reiterate something that you said at the beginning of the presentation. You called your company sort of an incubator in healthcare, and you said the focus is decentralizing healthcare, and this is something that we are, hearing a lot of recently, and this is really good stuff, I think. And so from an investment perspective, speaking to potential investors out there, I mean, is it almost kind of like a little bit of a, is your company sort of like a little bit of an ETF in a way?
Well, it's funny.
It's a funny way to put it, but
yeah, and really what we are is an opportunity to allow individual growth within a singular enterprise. So to the merit of the ETF model, possibly a great analogy. I never heard it described that way. but really what I think that we bring to light is the fact that all of these different pieces actually integrate, and hence the name. Sure. And they do that through the sciences. They do it through the technology pieces that really, like I said, 10 years ago didn't exist.
I think we are going to have to bring you back on at some point, Robert, because I have a ton more questions, and I think the audience was really intrigued by what you were saying here. Novo Integrated Sciences, it's ticker NVOS on the NASDAQ. Robert Mattacchione, you are the chairman and CEO. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you, sir.
Next up,